All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, another WNBA video today. There's a lot of stuff going on and has gone on the last couple days in the WNBA and in the NBA. You guys are going to get a lot of videos this weekend, a lot of stuff to watch and enjoy. But the first thing on my docket is this Angel Reese interview that was published in the Chicago Tribune. I want to jump into that for the majority of this video, and then some other WNBA stuff at the end because it has been a pretty busy week. We're closing in on the end of the season. Some teams have 2 games, 3 games left, so we'll get to that in a little bit. But the majority of this video, yeah, a majority of this video will be about the Angel Reese interview slash article and the scathing things she said about the team, about her teammates, and all that stuff. So if you like what I say, like the video. If you have any opinions, comment it down below, especially in the next couple videos, because there's a lot of I'm gonna give a lot of my opinions. I'm gonna put a lot of I don't want to say thought into these videos, but this is just been really off the cuff, just going through the article, going through the fallout of the article and all that stuff. So yeah, if you like what I say, like video, if you have any opinions, comment it down below. And if you just like the vibes, consider subscribing. So with that all out of the way, let's get to basically the quote that everybody's pulling up and the one I've pulled up in front of you guys. It's from Angel Reese, Chicago Sky Forward, number 5. I did not make this, what do you call it, this graphic. This is by Yahoo Sports. I just put the border on the left and the right, so I, I did not make this. I wish I could make it. I'm not that talented, but here is the quote. You can read it for yourself, obviously, but I'll read it for you if you're just listening. Um, she said, and I quote, and we'll go through the full article here, or parts of the article, I'll say. And I quote, "I'd like to be here for my whole career, but if things don't pan out, obviously, I might have to move in a different direction and do what's best for me." Angel Reese on her future with the Chicago Sky. Now, what do I think about this? Well, I'll say this. I tried to find the article. I found the article. It's behind a paywall, which is always lovely because you're hemorrhaging me for money when I actually want to read your article and give you clicks on your page, but you want me to pay freaking money to read the whole article. I'm not doing that. So I found some snippets of it on ESPN. ESPN took some of the best quotes, some of the best moments from the interview, and I'm gonna read them to you. But just off this one quote, because I haven't even delved into this ESPN article. That's like paraphrasing a lot of the Chicago Tribune article. I'll leave both down below. But what do I think about this? Angel Reese, second year player, by the way, second year player, saying, "I'm already fed up with this BS." Um, what do I think about this? And this is more commentary on, let's say, the microwave society we live in now, and more of a commentary on where where athletes are mentally. Um, I'll say this: I think for Angel specifically, this is only not Angel specifically, but more over Chicago, not Chicago, college athletes in general. Um, College athletes and NIL has ruined the very embodiment of sports, which is competition and perseverance and doing things the right way. And when you say these things, when you say do it the right way, people always think you're trying to take away the athletes, or not even the athletes, the person's happiness, quote unquote, and everybody should always be happy. Well, guess what? That's not sports. Sports isn't always happy. You're gonna lose some, you're gonna win some. The Chicago Sky, in their situation, have had 2 really, really terrible years, just god awful years. And you know what? I'm gonna agree that I think at some point you do have to take your destiny in your own hands, right? You have to take your destiny in your own hands, and you can't let somebody dictate your your career. You have to take ownership of it at some point. To take ownership of it, however, you have to earn your stripes. You have to earn your medal, you know? And Angel Reese has shown time and time again, well, at least twice now. We'll say once concretely, and then we'll say twice, we'll see what happens this off season and if this can be mended, if this relationship between her and the Chicago's guy can be mended. But Angel Reese, and this again, some of these things I'm saying aren't directly at Angel Reese. It's just that the modern athlete, the young 20 somethings, as somebody who's a little bit of an older 20 something, um, Angel Reese has taken the easy way out. She doesn't like to be told that she's wrong, that she's bad at something, that she's all these things because she won a national championship at LSU. But fun fact, she didn't play her whole career at LSU. She played in Maryland. She played at home. She's a Baltimore native, so she went to Maryland for her first, I think, was year or two of college ball, and it wasn't working out for her. And she took ownership of her career then, and then she went to LSU, and she took the easy way out and went to play for LSU when they won the national championship. And it was a stacked team, and I've always been of the school of thought of that the coach at LSU, I'm blanking on her name right now, I apologize, um, isn't really a good coach. She's a good, how would I say this? A good leader and a good. She can manage personalities and she knows how to win. She isn't necessarily a great coach, in my opinion. And what Angel Reese needed was to learn how to win, was to have the personalities managed, and all that stuff. Angel Reese was already a decent player. She was really, really good in college. I think you would say she was a lot better in college because the competition was a lot worse. But she's been able to make a name for herself nonetheless in the WNBA, which is fine. Second year, again, I'm not going to judge somebody for 2 years of play. But I think Angel and a lot of these athletes that have grown up and have played in the NIL, that is the name, image, likeness era in the NCAA, where the players get paid or get paid to play at certain schools, however you want to look at it. Um, is that and well, is that players really don't care about winning anymore. They really don't care. They just care about getting paid, maybe winning. Maybe Angel Reese got the chance to play, but she got a lot of other opportunities too, and that's why she's so flush with cash at the moment. She she can say these things because she doesn't need to stay in the WNBA. You know what I mean? And by what I mean is like she doesn't need to stay in the WNBA. It's like she can say these scathing things and she doesn't have to worry about the backlash of it because she's flush with cash, and those things really haven't had to bother her as much. Um, but moreover, I think you lose the essence of the sport. I'll say that again because you're not forced to stick it out anymore. You can just transfer whenever you want. Whenever you feel like somebody's like, oh, the team's not going the right way, or the coach says something to you that you didn't like, that you're a lazy, whatever. As an example, I'm not saying about Angel, but the coach might say you're lazy. You gotta show up to work earlier. You gotta show up to play earlier. You gotta show up to practice earlier. It's like screw that. I'm gonna leave, and then you just leave. Um, I think that sort of stuff really defeats the purpose of learning the sport, enjoying the sport, and actually knowing what persevering is. Because you could say you know what persevering is, but you really have to experience it. And to move it more to current times in Chicago Sky and Angel Reese, the Chicago Sky are one of the worst run teams. They are. I'm not going to sit here and defend what the GM has done, what the coach has done, even though I like Coach Marshall, their head coach. I don't think he's a first year coach too. He's a first year head coach. So I'm same as I'm not going to judge Angel on 2 years of play, and how she hasn't helped her team succeed to the heights that I think she would like to. I'm not going to judge Coach Marshall on 1 year of coaching because that's not fair. That's simply not fair. We have to hold everybody to the same standards and the same amount of accountability. Angel needs to take accountability that hey, guess what? Maybe your style of play isn't conducive to winning. Maybe take a step back. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear the way you've played the game for the past 5, 6, 7 years isn't the way to win because you won at the national level. I'm not sure if she won in high school, but you won at the national level. she's been in the Olympic system, like the pool of Olympic players, since she was young. So she has been successful, but this is the highest level of basketball for women. Maybe you haven't done the best job, and to throw the front office under the bus is perfectly fine with me. I think that's understandable. To throw your teammates under the bus is a whole nother thing. It's a whole nother thing because that creates drama, that creates resentment, that creates like this clicky nature in the locker room where people are gonna look you in the face and say, "I say, nah, we're cool. You know, we're cool. You know, I didn't take any offense to it," and they really did, and they actually hate you now, but they don't want to say it because you're actually the star player, and they can't say anything about you to your face because then it just gives you even more reason to leave. Now, that my rant's done. That's about a 10-minute rant there. I want to dive into some of the other stuff she said so we can get through some more of this video, not just me rambling. Um, this article, I guess Michael Volpe. Michael Volpe, I know Michael. I've read his articles before. Took the Tribune article and put it, sort of paraphrased that on ESPN and did it that way. Um, I want to read some parts here, and I'll give some more of my thoughts because I haven't read this article yet, and you guys can hear it too. Um, this is all taking place, by the way, like around September 3rd. Um, just for context, around September 3rd, um, and all that stuff. So let's get into it. Two-time WNBA All-Star Angel Reese aired her frustrations amid another losing season for the Chicago Skies, telling the Chicago Tribune she might have to, quote, move in a different direction and do what's best for me, end quote. If she doesn't, if the team doesn't improve its outlook, the Sky, who moved to 10-30, that's 10 wins, 30 losses, um, with Wednesday's 88-64 win over the Connecticut Sun, have been eliminated from the playoffs for the second season in a row. They are 3-15 since All-Star break in July. Jesus, that's crazy. Um, Angel Reese said in the Tribune, I'm not settling for the same shit we did this year. Continuing, we have to get good players. We have to get great players. That's a non negotiable for me. I'm willing and wanting to play with the best, and however I can help to get the best here, that is what I'm going to do this off season. End quote. Those are two separate quotes. Um, let's pause here and break this down a little bit. Um, the first part, I'm not selling for the same shit. I think every player in this situation would say the same thing. You're just not selling for this. It's not even me being mediocre. It's being purely bad. Like the team's just bad. I'm not gonna nail her to the cross for that one. That's understandable. Here's where people and what was later reported her teammates took offense to is we have to get good players. We have to get great players. That's a non-negotiable. Um, Basically insinuating my team, my teammates don't know how to play basketball. They're really bad right now. I don't want to play with these guys ever again. Which is mincing words, and you can take it out of context however you want, and however people want to say, hey, "Oh, you took her out of context. That's not what she meant." Then she should have said what she meant. She should have said what she meant. You shouldn't have just let it rip off the cuff. And I know it's nice and cool to be candid, and I like a candid athlete as much as the next person to be open and honest and say, hey, maybe don't say, hey, I don't like my teammates, but maybe say, hey, our everybody can improve and we can also get better players. That's what you should have said. You know, I believe in everybody here that they can get better and we can get better players to add to this roster. Don't just come out and say we need to get good players, we need to get great players because you're insinuating and you're basically saying, nah, everybody else here right now, they're bad. um, but the latter half of this, that's a non-negotiable for me. I'm willing and wanting to play with the best, however I can help to get the best here. Here's the thing, though, and I said this in another platform, is that like the Chicago Bulls in the NBA, Chicago is not a small market. Chicago is actually a really big market, one of the biggest markets. and has some of the best how would you say this fans, and some of the best like Chicago actually likes the Bulls. Like they're a big part of Chicago, partly because I think the White Sox suck, the Cubs are okay, the Blackhawks are bad. I think, right. Um, what's the other? The Bears kind of suck. So the Bulls have sort of been the mainstay of this era in Chicago. You know, they've been bad, but they've been at least a little relevant at times. But the thing is, nobody wants to go to Chicago because they're just not relevant enough. And the thing is, you need to have great players. You need to be a great player to get other great players to be there. And by being a great player, that just doesn't mean, oh, I rebound the ball well. Oh, I do this well. I do this well. You need to really take that next step. And that falls on Angel's shoulders. That really does. And this latter half, I'm going to say, what falls on the team is, hey, if players don't want to come here via free agency, we need to trade for players that want to come here, and show them, hey, it's not as bad as everybody says it. We're actually okay. We're actually pretty decent, you know. But the front office clearly can't do that, and they're really bad at doing that. And they tried to do it this past season with Courtney Vandersloot, who suffered the knee injury about like a quarter way through the season, um, and then the team fell apart, and they gave up a draft pick. Um, it shows that the front office is incompetent, and that doesn't help free agents want to come there, and that doesn't help people saying, "Hey, if you trade for me, you're just going to treat me a certain way, or if you trade for me, this and that." You know, so it's a two-way street. Both Angel and the front office need to do better. You know, Angel needs to show people, "Hey, I'm just more than this and that," and actually take that next step to improve. You know, and she did have a good second year. I will say that, but you know, we're not in college anymore. You or any of these things. We need to keep improving. We need to keep building. And to be honest, I don't think the Chicago Sky are going to be able to lure any free agents this offseason. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. Continuing, Angel Reese said here, so it's going to be very important this offseason to make sure we attract the best of the best because we can't settle for what we have this year. I don't think the best of the best are going to Chicago. Here's the thing, right? You're not even a win now team. You're not even a win now team. You're not even a win now team. You're just an okay, no. You're not even just an okay team. You're a bad team. You're bad. You are BAD bad. Who the hell wants to go to a bad team with a bad front office, with a, I guess, an all-star level player in Angel Reese, but nothing else? And guess what? Two all-star doesn't make you a good team. Two all-stars does not make you a good team. The best teams in the league have 2, 3 all-stars. 3, right? Aces, um, New York, Atlanta, um, Phoenix. All these all these teams have like Olympic gold medalists and like all-star level players, and not even all like some teams have legendary players, like really like high level, like high, what do you call it? Really high character people. Like the Liberty have Brianna Stewart, like legendary player, like really GOAT level conversation player. You know, the Atlanta Dream have Brittany Griner, legendary player. You know, like the the the, the Aces have Asia Wilson, Chelsea Gray. You know, Jewel Lloyd. You know, like it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to think that. And what Angel wants, and I'm not trying to dissect her words here too much, but to turn the whole roster over this offseason just to please her, it's not going to happen. It's simply impossible. The league doesn't work like that. We just, oh, she said she wants good teammates. Let's get her good teammates, and you pull out 2, 3 all stars from this free agency class. It just doesn't happen like that. And if it does happen like that, I will eat my words. But I just don't think it happens like that. It just doesn't. Um, This is the yeah, okay. I got two more quotes to read, and then I'm not gonna read any more of these quotes because I don't want to steal all their stuff here. Next quote here: Reese questioned the talent on the Chicago Sky's current roster and made it clear she expects the team's front office to be active in free agency. She said, "I'm very vocal about what we need and what I want. Continuing, I'd like to be here for my career, but if things don't pan out the way they do, I might have to move in a different direction, blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to stay here. I'm trying to stay open minded about what I have here and maximize that as much as I can." She said in a different quote when asked about Courtney Vandersloot or anyone else currently on the Sky's roster as the point guard Chicago can build around long term. We can't rely on Courtney to come back at her age. Um, at the age she's at, Angel Reese said, "I know she'll be a great asset for us, but we can't rely on that. We need someone probably a little younger with some experience, somebody who has been playing the game and is willing to compete for a championship and has done it before." See, now, see, these are the things where it's like, who the hell, who the hell is she talking about? Who the hell is this young point guard that's just gonna come out of nowhere? Like, who is that? Like, if I think about like the top guards, like Kelsey Plum's already in LA. Sabrina isn't leaving New York. Skylar Diggins, maybe. I don't think Skylar's leaving Seattle. Um, who else is out there? I can't even think of anybody else. Like that might leave. That I don't know who the hell Angel Reese thinks she's talking about. To that Courtney Vandersloot point, I agree with Angel Reese there. You can't rely on Courtney. She's 30 something. She's coming off a knee injury. That's not gonna. That's not good. I hate to be a pessimistic guy, but that's not. Courtney Vandersloot isn't coming back the same player. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll be very honest with you. I'm gonna be very. She ain't coming back the same player. Um, and then the other quote, trying to stay open minded. If you were trying to stay open minded, you wouldn't have done the interview and you would have just gave them one quote and say, "Hey, I want the team to improve a little bit. We need to get some free agents, and everybody else can improve." You know. Um, and moving back to my taking the easy way out point, I think it's so telling when somebody is already so frustrated with the situation, and rightfully frustrated so, but takes to an outside outlet to voice their concern where you can just walk into the front office or walk to your teammates and be like, "Hey, we need to improve." And I'm not saying she hasn't done that, but there have been no reports that she has done that. And it's I get it. I get it. It's the player empowerment era. They should be able to say what they want. She should be happy. You know, this is what people say. This is what people say in counter arguments to the things I'm saying is like, well, hey, you're a professional athlete. Suck it up. Suck it up. You're on a bad team. Guess who else has been on a bad team? Sabrina Ionescu was on a bad team for 3 4 years before they even got one decent free agent. You know, who else was on a bad team? Asia Wilson was on. Well, I won't say she was on a bad team, but she was on a very young team. A similar situation where she was like a lone forward on a team full of guards and a team full of people who were really trying to find themselves. And you know, there's gonna be bad seasons, dude. There's gonna be bad seasons. You can't expect instant success. I think you can hold the front office their feet to the fire, and I think that's fine. But to go to an outside outlet is kind of telling about her character, and I am questioning her character at this point. To move on here quickly, I just want to talk about some of the her response to this article and the I guess the outrage of the article um, here. She said in a post game interview after the article came out, obviously post game interview. She was asked if she was upset with her team or her the front office or her teammates, And she basically doubled down. She backtracked. She said she was upset at herself for the language she used, in the sense of like, it was sort of taken out of context, but she needs to be better about how she says things. I agree with that. And I think mostly, well, she also, let me say the whole thing that she said, because it is a clip and I just listened to it. She also said, like, she's sorry to her teammates, um, and she's gonna try to hold herself more accountable for the season and stuff like that. And I'll leave a link down below if you want to listen to the clip yourself. But I think I also said this. I think she was. I think I don't think she was upset in the sense of like she felt sorry. I think she's upset that her teammates actually got upset at her words, and I don't think she. I think when you initially say something, that's your initial feeling. Like that's how you really feel. It's not, oh, I'm sorry, I said the wrong thing. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, you guys got offended about what I said because it's the truth. And I don't think she's. I'm not gonna say she's lying. I'm not gonna say that she's not telling the truth, but I don't think she's anywhere near like sorry about what she said. Um, because it's the truth. And I think she told the truth. I think she told it at the wrong time, though. At the end of the season, when you still gotta look your teammates in the eye, you still gotta walk in that same locker room. It ain't good. You could have done it when you were in Cancun. Um, this also came out afterwards. Um, there is a belief amongst some sources that Angel Reese's future in Chicago may not be repairable. That came out one day ago, and and I think I don't even know what to say at this point because I just feel like I'm gonna talk in a circle. But I feel like Angel Reese's questions about the front office are valid, and I think there needs to be a settle down moment in the sense of, hey, this is your growing process. This is what needs to happen. If you say this in year 4 and it comes with a trade request, then yeah, I would kind of understand it. But to be in year 2 and be like, think you know better, is sort of insulting to your teammates and the front office, which I think the front office does need a bit of insulting because they have done a pretty shit job. But I, I think the context and the language used falls on her team. By her team, I mean her personal team. Like, what publicist, what agent read this before when I was like, yeah, this is good. Let's show them. Come on, guys. You need to do better. Um, the last thing I'll say about this is that there've already been talks about the Dallas Wings, who have the projected #1 pick, have the best odds for it, would trade that #2 pick for Angel Reese to get Angel Reese to Dallas to play with Paige Beckers. I think that is the most idiotic thing. I think that is so idiotic. I think if the Chicago Sky trade Angel Reese for the number 2, #1 pick, whatever it might be, it's going to be in that range, is stupid. I think you make her sit it. You make her settle it out. Just figure it out. You make Angel figure it out because Angel Reese is a great player. She's a huge fan base. You make her stay. You make her figure it out. You make her make amends with whoever she's got to make amends with, and then you revisit this 2 years from now, and then that's when you do it. That's when you trade her because she's only gonna get better. Her value isn't at the highest right now. Everybody knows she wants out or supposedly wants out. If she wants out, this is the lowest her value is ever going to be. Let this simmer down, let it figure itself out, and then move on. Um, in some other news here, speaking about Paige Beckers, Paige Beckers has officially become the Dallas Wings rookie leading scorer, landing #4 all time on the rookie scoring list in WNBA history, and holds the #1 spot for the franchise rookie assist season. Lovely, really good stuff. And with 631 points, she's the leading rookie scorer for the Dallas Wings. So next rookie is gonna have a lot to a lot to how would you say this live up to the next rookie they get. Um, let's see here. What else do we got? What else do we got? Another WNBA news. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, I forgot to read this. Let me read this real quick. Um, this is reported by Front Office Sports. Angel Reese's teammates are reportedly unhappy with her direct attack on them and plan to confront her tomorrow about her comments on September 3rd. And I guess that's when she apologized. She said she apologized. Reese reportedly says she doesn't believe in her teammates. Rachel Banaham or Haley Van Lith are capable of leading a playoff team. She also, yeah. So I just want to read that. I forgot to read that. Other WNBA news: the what do you call them? The Valkyries clinched um a playoff spot last night, being the first ever expansion team to make the playoffs in their first year. However, they will play their first home playoff game in San Jose due to scheduling conflicts at the Chase Center. Um, it's funny because I guess nobody thought they were going to make the playoffs, so they booked the arena. Um, and there was it was like the Reeves Cup or something. It was some like it's like some like indoor like what do you call it? The indoor like pickleball event that they do, and it's just funny that the Lavar Cup, yeah, Lavar Cup, yeah. They're occupying the building at that time. That's right. So, the Valkyries will not have home court advantage. Really, I mean, I don't know how many people are going to make the trip down from San Jose, from San Francisco, but we'll see. And I hope they at least get one home playoff game because that place is going to be bouncing. Um, and the last bit of news is well, but since last we talked, I think the what you call it's the Liberty. Damn, I'm bad with the names today. Jeez. Um, clinched a playoff spot. Let me make sure. Let me get you guys an update here. Clinched a playoff spot, and uh, Phoenix Mercury clinched the playoff spot, and the Valkyries have the playoff spot. Right now, that leaves two more spots. Seattle, Indiana, and Sparks are the last three, and we're gonna see who makes it. But in the best of news, at least for me, um, the Las Vegas Aces beat the Minnesota Lynx last night and move up to number two in the standings, overtaking the Atlanta Dream, moving to 10-0 in their last 10, 13 wins in a row, setting a record, and Asia Wilson really putting her foot down for this MVP. I'm not going to get too deep into it. She dropped 31 points, 8 rebounds, had some really good moments, and she's really going for this MVP. And the run that the team's been on, Asia playing out of her mind, and beating the Minnesota Lynx, the best team in the league, the projected champions at this point, um, was amazing. I watched the highlights; it was great. Um, I was keeping along on social media. A lot of people were saying it looks like the Lynx were going through the motions. Like they were obviously trying, and when you're the best team going through the motions, it's still high level basketball. But it looked like they were going through the motions. They were just doing whatever they needed to do just to get through the game and possibly win the game. They were without Dejanay Carrington, their point of attack defender, so that was a huge blow to them. But they almost won the game, but the Aces wanted it more, and the Aces have been on a roll. And I want to talk about that game a little more when we talk about the end of the season and when I redo some of my awards, because I think Asia Wilson has stolen the MVP from Nafisa Collier last night. That was an MVP level performance, and it was an MVP win. And you lose to a Aces team who was very hot, but by far the Lynx have the better roster. And for whatever reason, Nafisa Collier just didn't put her foot on the gas that game. She just didn't. If we go look at the stats here, Oh my god, dude! Pull up the box score. Sheesh. Um, she only had this. The Fisicali only had 12 points, 6 rebounds, 5 of 13, 1 of 3. I didn't realize it was that bad. Um, but yeah, I think Asia Wilson stole the MVP last night. Insane stuff. Insane. Um, for the game, the Aces won it 97 to the Lynx 87. Um, for the Lynx, I mean, they tried to throw Bridget Carlton on Asia, Nafisa Collier, Alana Smith, Jessica Shepard. Um, they tried to throw everybody at her, and they just couldn't guard her. um, those players that I mentioned also had pretty good games. And for the Aces here, Melissa Smith had a good game. Asia Wilson had a good game. Jackie Young, J Yo, great nickname. I never heard that one before. And Chelsea Gray had a good game. But yeah, we'll talk about that another time when we talk about the end of the season. And yeah, that's your WNBA update. That's your Angel Reese update as well. Little drama, little trouble. Not even in paradise. Little trouble in the in the basement of the WNBA because that's where the Chicago Sky are. They're in the basement. But yeah, that is it. That is all. Um, make sure you check out my other videos this weekend. If you're watching this after or this weekend, check out my whole channel, I guess. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys next time. Cheers.